All right. So let's talk about how some of our key Super Eagles players performed over the weekend. Now, it was kind of a bittersweet type situation when you think about what happened during the international break. Then right after the international break, the guys are basically on fire. So of course you feel some type of way as a Super Eagles fan, but at the same time you have to credit the guys for their reaction. They came back looking like they wanted to make up for things. And who knows, if we had a third match, maybe this is what we would have seen in the third match. Just wishful thinking right there. And another thing I feel like might have helped them out is a lot of the guys came back like some time before the games came up. A lot of times during these international break, they're coming back like a day or two before the game. But this time they actually had some time to actually train with the team and get prepared for the matches. So I'm thinking that's what we're seeing right there. Now, before we get into the performances of the players, we got some news to talk about real quick. Taiwo Awoniyi picked up that injury in the match against Lesotho, missed the match against Zimbabwe. There are reports that he's going to be missing the AFCON. Now, I don't know about all that, so I'm not going to speak on that right there. But what I do know is what his coach said. It's a growing situation. He went through surgery. So we're just going to be waiting on the rehab and how long that's going to take and stuff. But I'm not going to put a date on it. I don't know. The coach didn't say nothing about a date. So I'm just going to tell y'all what it is, a groin surgery. And we're going to see how long it takes for him to come back. But hopefully he comes back sooner than later. Then getting into these performances, first and foremost, we're going to talk about a guy that's not really with the team right now. I don't think he is retired officially yet from the Super Eagles, but Odion Ighalo scored a hat-trick in Saudi Arabia. Man is still doing his thing, even though he is not at one of the bigger clubs anymore, but he's still doing his thing, still showing himself as a top-class goal scorer. And you got to credit Odion Ighalo, so I had to put that up there. Then next up, we go to Turkey. And at Turkey, you got Kenneth Omweru, who played 90 minutes for his team, Kasımpaşa. They lost to Konyaspor by 2-0. But Kenneth Omweru, I believe, is captain of the side, if I'm not mistaken. He has been getting some consistent playing time with Kasımpaşa, and that's all you can really hope for at this stage. Just consistent playing, so whenever he's called, he's ready. Also in Turkey, we got Paul Onuachu. Paul Onuachu scored a goal for his team, Trabzonspor, in a 3-all draw against Sivasspor. And that's like back-to-back goals. He scored that wonder goal not too long ago. Scorpion kick looking thing. Beautiful goal he scored. Onuachu doing his thing in Turkey. From the day he stepped into Turkey, he's been doing his thing. I don't know if that's enough for a call-up, but I really don't understand the Paul Onuachu situation. It wasn't like he got dropped or something. He got injured, missed the AFCON, and since then, I believe he got called up by Jose Peseiro and was injured, could not make that. But he hasn't been called up since. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be talking about what happened in Southampton. But first of all, you got to understand this was a January transfer. And it wasn't the best move for Paul Onuachu. You talking about a team that was a sinking ship, and they definitely proved that they were a sinking ship. And you look at the other player that was at Southampton, Joe Rebo, he's still getting call-ups, and he's not even that much of a regular over there in Southampton. So you gotta wonder why Paul Onuachu has not been given his chance again. Then you get Sadik Omar. We move into Spain. Sadik Omar scored his first goal of the season, if I'm not mistaken, and that was in a 2-1 win against Sevilla. He played 75 minutes in that game. A wonder goal and a half by Sadik Omar. His captain was hand on head, and that's basically how I was, a screamer. Had the goalkeeper beat from goal. Just a beautiful goal by Sadik Omar, and you could tell he has been coming back from his injury. It's an ACL injury, a real tough injury. People were complaining about his call-ups to the Super Eagles, but I think Jose Peseiro might have the last laugh in this one, all because he showed a little faith in Sadik Omar. And this is a player that we saw what he was doing in the La Liga too. Came into the La Liga with Real Sociedad and was doing his thing before he got injured. He was scoring goals week in, week out. People tend to forget all that. And now it seems like he's getting back to his normal self. It always was going to take time. It was never going to be just like a snap of the finger. It was always going to take time for him to get back to his normal self. The goals are definitely going to come. He's a classy player. It's all about the fitness, the sharpness, all that. And you got to get there by playing. So this is definitely a welcome development right here by Sadik Omar. Congratulations to him on that situation. Then we move to Germany. Victor Boniface. Victor Boniface just picked up 2 more awards, Rookie of the Month and Player of the Month. And I believe this is the 3rd time straight that he has gotten these awards. So he is basically taking the German league by storm. He played against Werder Bremen over the weekend. Did not score or assist. First time in a while, I believe. Bayern Leverkusen, top side. They have a top class coach over there, Xavi Alonso. So this is a real serious side right here. And I feel like he is just benefiting from that. He's a good player also. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a good player, but that team is definitely a great team. They play some good football, unselfish football, and a player like him is always going to shine in a system like that. Now moving on, and we're going to go to France this time. Terem Moffi, another striker, and this time he scored a goal, scored the winner for Nice against Toulouse. The match ended 1-0. He scored the goal, played 84 minutes in the match. Another player who played in the matches against Lesotho and Zimbabwe came off the bench against Lesotho, started against Zimbabwe. Those matches, I felt like he did a good job personally, but those matches put them in the trash, not the best performances. So I mean, you really couldn't take much from those, but good to see that he is scoring goals for his team. Hopefully he scores more. This season hasn't scored that many goals, to be honest. We're looking for more goals from Terem Moffi. We know he's capable of that. So that's one thing right there. Now moving on, and we're going to go to the Prem, the EPL, and we're going to start with Nottingham Forest. Ola Aina, we talked about his teammate Taiwo Awoniyi. He played 89 minutes against Brighton, 3-2 loss to Brighton. Had a good game, did get beat for a header in the second goal. I felt like he could have done better. Well, anytime you get beat by a header like that, you always could have done better. Even the goalkeeper, I felt, could have done better, but it was close enough that you really can't blame the goalkeeper. But that was it right there. I felt he played well though. Apart from that situation, you got Frank Onyeka. He played 89 minutes versus Arsenal. That match ended 1-0 in favor of Arsenal. Played a good game in my opinion, and it seems his role on the team has been expanding. You look at the last 3 matches the team played, he started 2 of those, and the one he didn't start, that was Liverpool away from home. He came off the bench and played 45 minutes in that one. Then you go back 6 matches, he has started in 3 out of those 6, and this match right here that his team lost is the only match he has started that his team has lost. Next up, we move to Alex Iwobi and Fulham, and Alex Iwobi scored a goal for his team in a 3-2 win over Wolves. That match was a real good one. It was played yesterday. I felt like this was a good performance by Alex. Even outside the goal, I feel like it was a good performance. Put a lot of pressure on the opponents, created some chances for his team, was good in possession, making the right passes, the right touches, holding on to the ball when need be. Did a good job in all that. Even without the ball, you see him running, chasing players from the other side of the pitch, poking the ball away. He did a great job in my opinion. Not just my opinion, he did a great job. I feel like that's just a certified fact right there that he did a great job. Now, he didn't play as a midfielder in this game, wasn't playing in the central position, was more out wide. Now, also in that match, you had Calvin Bassey playing 90 minutes for Fulham. He played as a central defender. I felt like he had a good performance. Also, seems like he's settling into life in the EPL, been more consistent in the starting lineup for the team, and that's definitely great to see right there. Now moving on from the English top flight and on to the Italian top flight, the Serie A. We're going to start with Samuel Chukwueze and AC Milan, who took on Fiorentina. That match ended 1-0 in favor of AC Milan. Samuel Chukwueze played 90 minutes in the contest, no goals or assists, only one assist to his name this season. You got some people complaining about that situation, but at the same time, we have to look at what's on ground. At first, you had him as a player coming off the bench, not a prominent player in the side. Then all of a sudden, the prominent player in the side gets injured, and you want him to do a magic trick and just be on form right away. It's not going to work like that. At least he's playing more now, and as time goes on, those goals, those assists are definitely going to come. This is a quality player, but just give him a little bit of time, because this is not the job that he was put in from the beginning. And you could say, well, some people come into teams and take over like that. Well, that's movies, or that's just happenstance, some things that happen like once in a while. But in real life, he has to get acclimated to the situation. He has to know his players. His players has to know him, and hopefully that's gonna happen sooner than later. But all I'm gonna say is that this is a top player, and he's definitely gonna show that class is always permanent. And moving on, we're going to go to the game that went down, the Super Eagles derby that went down. You had Ademola Lookman of Atalanta versus Victor Osimhen of Napoli. Now, it was definitely a pleasant surprise seeing Victor make his return to the game. Of course, he had been injured in the Super Eagles' last international break, not this one, the one before that. Got injured in the match against Saudi Arabia, and he made his return to the team, made the traveling squad, and was on the bench as the match started against Atalanta. Came off the bench in the second half with a different kind of look. No mask this time. I mean, we say it's a different look, even though it's the same look that he has been having his whole career just about. And yeah, he came onto the pitch, was about his business, got the assist after a mistake by the Atalanta goalkeeper, if I'm not mistaken. Ball comes to Victor, he toe pokes it to his teammate Elmas, slides it into the back of the net. 2-1, they win the match. Victor Osimhen returns. Looking forward to their match against Real Madrid in the Champions League. Does he start? Does he still come off the bench? That's going to be interesting right there. Then you move on to Ademola Lookman. He scored a goal in the game. His goal made it 1-1 after a Kvaratskhelia goal. Kvaratskhelia. Either way it goes, he scored a goal for Napoli. Then Ademola Lookman scored in the second half for Atalanta. Victor Osimhen, of course, like I said, got the game-winning assist after coming off the bench. And it was all good right there. Everybody shined. Everybody did their thing. It's sad to see Lookman on the losing side, but of course, glad to see Victor on the winning side. That's just how it goes. And some other players that we're going to talk about in the Portuguese league, you got Chukwueze Awoniyi and Bruno Onyemaechi. Both played 120 minutes. Chukwueze Awoniyi, of course, as a central defender. Bruno Onyemaechi as a left back. They both featured for Boa Vista against Aruca. The match ended 2-2 in regulation. They went into penalty shootout, and the match was won by Aruca, a cup match. Then you move to the championship. Kelechi Iheanacho and Wilfred Ndidi, they played for Leicester City against Watford. The match ended 2-0 in favor of Leicester City. They remain on top of the championship table, looking like they will be coming back in the Premier League next season. Kelechi Iheanacho played 56 minutes. Wilfred Ndidi played 64 minutes. Got a yellow card right before he was taken off. There's some talk about these players moving over the January window situation, because they got like 1 year left on their contract, probably less than a year left on their contract. Their contract is going to be ending as the season ends. So Leicester City got some thinking to do. Do you sell these players cash out right now, or do you wait and hope that they sign a new contract? Now, if they get in the Prem, there's a good chance these players will sign a new contract. But if like something happens and they don't get in the Prem and they can't afford to give them what they would have been expecting, that's an issue right there, and they will be leaving for the free. So that's really something that Leicester have to think about. Even these players have to also think about the situation. Do we stay? Do we go? It's definitely something that all parties got to think about. But that being said, let me know your thoughts on these performances. Which player do you think had the best performance over the weekend? Put it in the comment section. And please don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.